All right, welcome back, everybody, to China, and we're watching the doubles again with Eala taking on in the doubles, taking on in the semifinals, taking on Chen, who is another player from Asia, or Southeast Asia, who has been definitely someone you guys have told me about. And we have watched her a little bit. She plays a lot like Ash Barty, and Barty was a great doubles player. So let's see how this matchup goes. Yeah. And the winners of this will take on Chong and Liang in the final, who have already won to the final. They're unseeded players as well. So we're going to have an unseeded champion no matter who wins these matches. Also, Bencic just beat Kenin. So Noskova Bencic is the final of Tokyo. Raducanu pulled out earlier today. We've got Sinner and Demonor coming up in about 6.5 hours. So we'll watch that after in a little bit. And then we've got Zverev Musetti. So we've got a couple of previews for the ATP finals potentially as well. So that is all we have to do. By the way, Chad, I was just playing. Oh man, I was doing so well. The Elite Four, I leveled everyone up to 50 except for two of them. First trainer, knockout. Lost Pikachu though. Second trainer, knocked out with not even taking a hit. Third trainer, knocked out, didn't take a hit. Fourth trainer, Lance, he wrecked me. And then I had to verse my rival after that, who with like 1.5 Pokemon. So it was not great. But it was a good first attempt. I just need more, need potions and shit. But we're this close to finishing Pokemon Yellow. I'm this close. This close. In almost 40 hours of play, I'm this close. I'm trying to get under 40 hours to complete the game. I'm this close. I'm this close. I just need a better Wigglytuff and a couple of potions and I'll be sweet. I will finish that game today. By the time we come back for the next match, I will have beaten Pokemon Yellow. All right. So I think it's Piter and Chen. Piter is from Poland. She's 34 years old. Pretty good at doubles. Currently 50 in the world in doubles. And then, of course, Chen is 80 in the world in singles, 159 in doubles right now. And she's 23 from Indonesia. So Eala and Chen teaming up with the older veteran players in the doubles to try and compete and try and get titles. And that's the way it's been going. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Indonesia taking on Philippines. They might play in the singles back in the Southeast Asia Games at the end of the year if they both play. I'm sure they both will. But the Southeast Asia Games, they could both be competing against each other for the medals over there. So that could be interesting as well. All right. Cool. All right. So we are almost ready to go. She was like unranked at the start of the year. Who's that? Bencic. Oh yeah, Bencic. Like at the end of this time last year, she was playing challenges, wasn't she? Wasn't she playing like ITF events? Like I think she played an ITF like 75 or something this time last year. How many ATP final spots left? 4. And Djokovic it seems like he's going to play because they're putting a lot of promo around Nole, which means that he must be playing. So Djokovic, even though he pulled out of Paris, he is playing in Greece. But yeah, they just put a promo video out about Djokovic, and I'm like, they wouldn't have done that if they didn't think he was definitely going to play. If they thought, oh, he might not play, they wouldn't put a promo video out about him. So I have a feeling that he is going to play. But I guess it depends on what happens in Greece. If in Greece he doesn't look or feel good, he might say maybe not. But also, there's it might be his last opportunity to play the ATP finals, because you never know what happens next year or the year after. It's not guaranteed that he finishes top 8 next year. Who knows? But I'm sure being the most winningest player there, he at the ATP finals ever, he wants to at least play one more, right? So I wonder if that's what is happening. But there's 4 spots up for grabs because Zverev already qualified. So 4 spots left. You got Fritz, who's in a good position, Shelton, De Minaur, and Musetti. Rude and FAA being injured probably rounds it out. I don't think those guys, unless they win Paris next week, I don't think those guys are going to, if they're injured, I mean, how are they going to qualify? Medvedev is also a fair bit back, but if he wins, even if he wins Paris, he'll still need to do more after Paris, another week. So it's really Rude and FAA. But if Felix is injured, Musetti's still playing in Vienna. Musetti and De Minaur and Shelton can all get away from FAA, because FAA is 400 points behind and he's injured. So we'll wait and see what happens. Can Bencic win a slam? Maybe. I mean, I feel like Wimbledon is still up for grabs, right? Wimbledon is the random slam of the women's side. And anyone who, I mean, it's had, Vondi, you had Rybakina, you had Krejcikova, even Swiatek winning this year, right? Not the favorites haven't won Wimbledon lately. So, yeah, she made a semi-final this year. I mean, Bencic, Alexandrova, right? Those two ladies both can play on grass. You'd think that those two at Wimbledon would be, for sure, would be a chance, again, when the favourites aren't the ones who win Wimbledon. Krejcikova definitely wasn't the favourite when she won. Rybakina wasn't the favourite when she won. She might be the favourite now, but when she won, she wasn't. As the first point goes to Eala and Kichenok. I'm going to go with Eala to win this one. Surprise. I'm going to go in 3 sets. I reckon it goes down the wire. They've been pretty good. Kichenok and Eala, they've won both their matches in straight sets. Love 15. I, for one, did not expect Swiatek to win Wimbledon. I don't think anyone did. Unless you're a Swiatek fan, but yeah, Swiatek was not the favorite. Sabalenka was the favorite. But even in the final, I think a lot of people thought maybe Anisimova could surprise, but Swiatek was not having it. Even Swiatek was surprised she won Wimbledon. In her post-match interview, she was like, "What? I can't believe I did this." So even she surprised herself. All right, 30-15. I would love Swiatek at the start of next year to win the Australian Open and complete the set. That would be so good for WTA is already so good that if that happened as well, you get Swiatek completing the set, that'd be insane. Anyways, return winner from Kichenok, and it's 30-all. Like Swiatek winning the Australian Open and completing the Korea Slam would be such a great way to start the year. Be such a great way to start the year. All right, 30-all. As Chen serves an ace, 40-30. Yeah, Rybakina withdrew. Rybakina out of the Tokyo final. Noskova Bencic. Here's the final. All right, forehand now from Chen. And then Kichenok hits a lob and it goes long. And it's 1-love to Chen and Piter. Piter? I'm going to say Peter. Love the necklace. Thank you. Now I'm wearing my... Again, I found these at the bottom of a drawer. I bought these I reckon I bought this, this shirt, right? I reckon I bought this shirt probably 3 years ago. And I just didn't... it's really nice material. I put them at the bottom of a drawer because I just didn't have anything to wear them with. And it was during COVID, so I wasn't going outside, so I couldn't wear them. So, and then found them when I was going through my stuff the other day, And I was like, holy crap. Like, these were these great quality shirts. And I'm like, perfect for Halloween. And they're really good, like nice. You know when you get a t-shirt and it's like nice material? Like, this is nice. It feels nice. It's a nice shirt. It's got a big graphic on the back as well. One of the most iconic Disney villains of all time, Hades. Love 15, but also villain in mythologies. All right. Love 30. A chance for Tjen and Piter to break. Love 30. As we had a 400 from Tjen is just wide, 15-30. $15.30. As that goes down the middle from Eala, and it's 30-0. All right, 30-0. As Kichenok serves a fault, second serve. Second serve. There's a return from Tjen as a winner. All right, 30-40. 30-40. Break point for Piter and Tjen. 30-40. All right. As Kichenok serves to the forehand of Piter. Good return to the forehand of Kichenok. And then Kichenok gets a winner. Piter was not close to that one. I'm surprised that Bench has only made 10 career finals. She's been around for a while. Yeah, that is crazy. Maybe she's more of a semi-final kind of... She must have made like a lot of semi-finals. Like her semi-final record must be not great, but she must... I reckon she definitely feels like she's been in the final, like the last... Like she does feel like, it doesn't seem like she doesn't make the final, like the final four at least. Maybe her record in semis is just like, 10 and 40 or something. Anyways, 1-0. Kichenok and Eala hold. Down. All right. Oh no, she's 27 and... Oh, sorry, you said she's... Are you sure? She's made 19 finals and she's won 9 titles. I don't know what you're reading. She's made 20 finals. You mean career titles? She's only won 10 titles? Is that what you mean? Because she's made 19 finals according to what I'm looking at. She's won... This is her 20th final, I'm pretty sure. She won 9 titles. 15 love, by the way. Yeah, this is a... this is her 20th final. She's 9-10 in finals. She's only won 9 titles. Yeah, 9-10. Yeah, she's won. It says here singles tour WTA Tour finals 19. She's won 9 and lost 10. All right, 15 all. 15 all. As Eala returns into the forehand of Piter. Volley from Eala. Piter with a forehand into the volley of Eala. Tjen with a backhand volley down the line. Beautiful volley. 30-15. 30-15. As Eala serves again. What are you doing, Mirra? Why are you scratching the chair? What are you doing? 30-15 as Eala hits a winner down the middle. 40-15. Sorry, 30-all. What is it? I can see you. What do you do? What do you want? 30-all. 30-all as Eala returns a winner down the line. 30-40. Eala Kichenok a chance to get the break. Tjen has 9 titles in 19 matches. That's awesome. What do you mean? We're talking about Bencic. Who are you talking about? We're talking about Bencic. 30-40. As with a serve into the forehand, but it's a fault from Piter. Second serve. Second serve, Piter. Serve into the forehand of Kichenok. Volley from Tjen. Kichenok comes to the net. Forehand from Piter. Volley from Eala. Forehand from Piter. Volley from Eala. As Piter volley forehand again. Volley from Tjen. Goes in. Then Eala hits a volley in the net. And we get the deuce. Still a break point though, remember, because of sudden death. There's no advantage in doubles. At least outside the slams. All right. Deuce. Sudden death. Deciding point. However you want to, whatever you want to call it. All right. Piter to serve to Eala. Serve to the front of Eala. Volley from Tjen. Too good. All right. 2-1. 1 second, chap. All right. 2-1. Hang on. You want dinner, do you? Is that why you're harassing me? All right, 2-1. 2-1 on serve. All right. How we doing, chap? What is going on? Yeah, by the way, I don't know why it says that Raducanu got a walkover. That's weird. That's definitely a typo. It's definitely not. It's definitely Noskova in the final. I don't know why it says that she's not. There's not Noskova. It's just a typo, I think. All right, love 15. Where the hell is everyone? Everyone's a quiet. Hello? Is anyone here? Am I just talking to myself? Hello, 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 hello. Anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Just gotta start blowing those whistles like the Titanic. You know, the guys walking through the body, like, anybody out there? Hello, hello, hello. You gotta get the like Rose when she got the whistle. She's like, whoop, whoop. Is anybody alive out there? 15-0. As Yellow serves into the forehand of Chen. Yellow forehand to the forehand of Chen. Now back from Eala. Chen with a volley in the net. 30-15. $30-15. $30-15 as we get a forehand from Eala forehand from Eala to the forehand of Piter, and then Kichenok puts it away. 40-15. $40-15. Eala holds. All right, 2-2. Two all. Two all. All right, back to Chen. Congrats on 272. Yeah, we got to 272 in the last stream. So thank you for everybody who subscribed. All right, forehand now from Eala. There's Chen with a passing shot. Eala volley in the net, and it's 15-love. Could you differentiate the Kichenok twins if they play together? No. I'll just call them by their first names. All right. $15-love. All right. 15-0. Hang on. What's going on? Nice haircut. I haven't got a haircut. But thank you. Yeah, Rebecca withdrew. Yep, she had some back problems, so she didn't want to risk it. 15-30. Where's that guy that owes me $1? I'm not going to forget that. Where's that guy that owes me $1? Mia! 15-30. As we get a forehand now from Chen. She puts it away. 30-all. Where's that guy that owes me $1? I told you, chat. 100%. I said that she is not going to play. There is no way, no how, no chance. No way. Chad, you knew it. You knew I knew. And you knew deep down that she was never going to play. Except for that one guy who owes me $1. Where is that guy? Anybody write down his name? 40-30. 40-30. As we do a nice serving from Chen, and she holds 3-2. Benchik versus Nozova in the final, yeah, in Tokyo. 3-2. 3-2. All right, 3-2. 3-2-2. Find any new Game Boy games? No, unfortunately. But I had a go at the Elite Four, and I got through the Elite Four, and then I had to play my rival. But by the time I got to my rival, I only had half a Blastoise and a quarter of a what was it? Kadabra. So I didn't have enough. And I didn't have any potions or anything, so I couldn't revive my team. That's all right. It was only a first try. But I got through the first one. Pikachu was the star, and then the second trainer, Doug Trio, dominated. Third trainer, who it might have been. Oh no, sorry, Doug Trio knocked out the third trainer with all the ghost Pokemon. Who was the second one? Fighting Pokemon. Was it? Maybe it was Doug Trio for that as well. And then the Lance, the dragon dude, it was a bit of a combination because I just didn't have enough in the tank. And then when I versed my rival, fucking Gary, he was just too good because I had nothing left. I beat Bruno. I beat whoever the first person is. The Psychic Lady. I beat Bruno and the Psychic Lady with like not even taking damage. It was just like one shot, bang, 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 and I'm like, easy. But then the dragon, Lance, like wrecked me with those dragons. Agatha, yeah, I beat her. I beat Bruno and Agatha without dropping a, without them even taking a shot. They didn't even take a shot. It was a clean sweep. I just need to get through the first guy with my Pikachu, like just, and then figure out how to beat the last guy without taking damage. And then take on my rival and kick his ass and then complete the game. And then play Pokemon Gold. Love 15. Kichenok good serving. 15 all. As that goes in the net by Peter, and it's 30-15. As we return now from Peter, lob goes up, 400 from Kichenok into the volley of Chen. Chen in the net, 40-15. You got an excellent, yeah. I think I'll finish the game today. I have a feeling that I'm going to finish the game today. Like if I can just stock up on potions and revives, and then when I get to get to the last one, have a full, be able to revive my entire team so I can take on my rival. I should be fine. My rival sucks. He stinks. He's a terrible. I don't know how he beat the Pokemon Elite Four because my rival is idiot. He's stupid. He's so stupid. He's got dumb, stupid Pokemon, and they're so stupid. I mean, I took out 2 of his Pokemon with like a half a Blastoise. He's so shit. He's trash. So I don't know how he even beat the Elite Four, because I have a full team. I dominate. He's not even close. All right. 3-0. Bruno was a joke. He's the worst gym leader and regular trainer. Agatha is bad if you have Psychic type. Yeah. Yeah, Bruno was trash. I just came in with a dog trio and just went like dig, 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 and he was out. Same with Agatha. My dog trio just like dominated. It's just dig, dig, dig. And then see you later. All right, 15-30. So 15 love. I can't read. 15 love. As we just serve from Peter into the back end of Kichenok. Kichenok in the net. 30 love. 30 love. I like how in Vienna you got the 4 top seeds making the semis. Yeah. About damn time. When was the last time we had top 4 seeds on the men's side make the finals? It's been forever. 40 love. And then also, it's great that we get 2 matchups that are like possible ATP finals matches. You know, like Zverev, Musetti, and Sinner versus Demonor could be the group stages of the ATP finals. So it's a little bit of a preview too, which I love. I love it. Onyx is a terrible Pokemon. Oh yeah, Onyx is trash. Onyx is trash. 40-15. There's a winner there from Eala, and it's 40-30. Last time it happened to 500 was in Vienna 2 years ago. Okay. But like this year, it hasn't happened, right? We haven't had the top 4 seeds make the semis all this season, right? Or did we have it at Wimbledon? Oh no, because Zverev. I forgot Zverev was number 3 for a while. Wimbledon had to have been the closest, right? Because we had Fritz and Djokovic and then Sinkaraz. But I can't remember a top 4 final. A top 4 seeds. Definitely not Shanghai. Not in Beijing or maybe oh no, Brooksby wouldn't have been seeded. US Open, no. US Open close though. US Open we had 1, 2, 7. Why was Djokovic 7? How'd that happen? By the way, break point. Break point. Deuce. And Eala can't get it back. 4-3. Yeah, Wimbledon was 1, 2, 5, 6. That was about as close as I think that's probably the best lineup we had, right? Oh no, Roland Garros maybe 1, 2, 6, 8. Why is Djokovic so low ranked? How'd that happen? Rome, Djokovic didn't. Oh, hang on, Rome. Nah, didn't play in there. Australian Open was 1, 2, 7, 21. Okay. So it must be the first time for the year that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 in the semis, right? I think. And all 4 could make the ATP finals. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Zverev's already in there. Demon or Musetti and Sinner and Zverev are there. And then Demonor and Musetti are in good position to be there. So all right. Kichenok and Eala are having a big discussion about playing doubles. Onyx has bad weaknesses and a terrible special stat. In Gen 3, Onyx is terrible special defense and decent special attacks, but still makes him... Yeah, Onyx is all bite, all bark, no bite. Like, he looks scary as hell. Big rock snake, but he does jack shit. As long as you don't get a Pokemon, like an electric type on him, then if your electric types make him look good. But other than that, he is garbage. I was smoking 49 level Onyx in the Victory Road caves. Or whatever it's called, the cave before the Elite Four. 49 Onyx, and I was coming in there with like a 35, fucking like nothing. And just smoking him. Alright, 15 love. He is garbage. Alright. 15 love. As with a forehand from Eala to the volley of Piter. Eala with a forehand to the volley of Chen as Eala goes down the middle again. A couple of volleys from Piter, and then Eala with a lob volley. And then a tweener from Piter, but Kichenok puts it away. And even Eala gives a round of applause for that. She's like, good tweener. That was a decent shot. But, wait, hang on. Who's going to win? Wait, hang on. What happened? Who won the point? Hang on. What happened? Are we getting a challenge? No. Wait, did Piter and Chen win the point? How'd they win the point? What happened? The volley. So Eala with a lob volley. So Eala hits the lob volley, and then Piter with the tweener. But what happened? How did they win the point? I have no idea how they won the point. Can somebody explain to me how they won that point? Because Kichenok hit the volley winner. Was there like a hindrance or something? Maybe there was was there a hindrance? Because of a celebration? I don't know, maybe there was a hindrance or something. I didn't hear it. But maybe there was a hindrance. That's the only explanation. Eala's volley, Eala's lob was out, was it? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Eala's lob must have gone long. And they didn't challenge, well, they couldn't challenge. So Eala's lob was out. Still a good tweener, though. 40-15. Eala's lob went long. And did the central umpire call it out? Is that why? That makes sense. Anyway, it's 40-15 still. As Eala forehand down the middle is a winner. 4-0. 4-4. Four-oh. All right. Chen serves. Into the forehand of Eala. Forehand from Chen. Into the back of Eala. And then a volley from Piter. Too good. 15 love. Love. Uh, 15 love. As we serve from Chen, and the return from Kichenok goes long. 30 love. As it goes out from Piter and Chen. 30-15. 30-15 as it goes out by Kichenok, and it's 40-15. And an ace from Chen. All right. 5-4 Chen and Peter. Peter. 40, what is it? 5-3. 5-4. But don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you like tennis, you're in the right place. If you don't like tennis, you must be lost. But stick around long enough and you might enjoy it. You just never know. You might be like, hey, what the hell is this? I was looking for the 7-Eleven. That's fine. You're here now. Maybe just sit down and we can, like, if you have any questions, accept tennis into your life. And you maybe you'll be all right. 5-4. 5-4. By the way, Sinner and Demonor are coming up in 6 hours. I'm going to really not want to watch that, but I have to. If Demonor beats Sinner, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to freak out. I don't really want to watch Mercedes Vera, but we kind of have to because it's a big top 10 clash. But I'm not super keen on watching it. Hopefully, it's a good quality match. Hopefully, it's a good quality match. No, I'm not going to watch Fonseca Munar because Sinner Demonor is more important. Fonseca Munar is a good match. Like, I like it, but it's not as important. We have to watch, and I don't even want to do a double header because I know when I do double headers, I don't focus on the match we're watching, and the more important match is definitely Demonor versus Sinner. It might not be the closer match, but it's definitely the more important match because it's a top 10 clash. It's ATP finals, possible matchup. So it's like that needs my full attention. Fonseca Munar is fun, but I don't. It's not like a make or break match for me. You know what I mean? Not at the moment, anyway. If Fonseca makes the final, though, we'll probably watch him play the final of Basel. Uh, 15 love. As we return now the volley of Eala. Eala puts away. 30 love. Lovely volley. 30 love. Serve to the back of the Chen. Chen in the net. 40 love. We've said he's won his last 3 matches against Zverev. Shit. Well, that's going to be interesting then. $40 love. As a return from Peter goes the volley of Eala. Eala pushes it long. 40-15. 40-15. All right, 40-15. As Kichenok with a lob. It goes in, and then Chen hits a lob return. That goes in as well. Okay, good hustle. As then we get a forehand to the backhand of Peter. Forehand from Eala to the forehand of Peter as Eala forehand again. Peter goes cross court, and that's a winner. What a rally. Great hustle by Chen. 40-30. Great running from Chen. No, 40-30. As Kichenok serves again. And the forehand from Piter in the net. All right, 5-all. Five. 5-all. All right, Piter to serve. As Eala wins the first point, love 15. All right, 15-all. As with a smash from Kichenok, and it's 15-30. All right. As with a forehand now from... Sorry, backhand now from Kichenok. Up goes a lob by Piter, and it goes in, I think. Yeah, it goes in. 30-all. Good lob. All right, 30-all. As we get a fault from Piter, second serve. All right, second serve. As return goes out by Eala, and it's 40-30. All right, 40-30. As a forehand rally. Back in now from Piter, as we had a backhand from Kichenok into the back. Forehand of Piter as Kichenok goes the volley of Chen. As we had a forehand now from Piter again to the backhand of Kichenok, who goes down the line. Great shot. Up goes a lob by Piter. In comes Kichenok with a smash. Puts it away. Sudden death, deciding point. Deuce. All right, deuce. All right. Sudden death. Can Eala and Kichenok take the break? Serving the back. If I want to, Eala in the net. All right. They cannot take the break. All right. Eala and Kichenok will serve to get to a tiebreak in this first set. Any one of those top 8 players can win the title at the WTA Finals? Yeah. Is it the most competitive in a while? Pardon me. No, I think 2021 was pretty competitive. 2021 was pretty even. Last year, we thought it would probably be between one of the top 3, right? We thought Swiatek, Sabalenka, Gauff. Like, they were the standouts last year, and Gauff won. Swiatek winning Cancun was no surprise. 2022 was surprising that it was Garcia who won, but it was kind of Swiatek's to lose, I think. But then going into this one, it feels like, I don't know who's going to win. Like, yeah, Sabalenka, Swiatek should be the favorites, but Raducanu or Paolini could win, right? I mean, but I think 2021 with Muguruza Kontaveit final. I mean, only one of the top 4 players made the semis, but going into that, because Barty pulled out, so everyone, like, Barty wasn't there. So Sabalenka was number 1, and it didn't, I don't know, it kind of felt, it didn't feel like it was going to be, like, Swiatek wasn't Swiatek yet, so we didn't know what she was going to do. But, you had Sabalenka, Sakkari, Swiatek, Badosa, Krejcikova, Pliskova, Muguruza, Kontaveit. But it didn't feel like Sabalenka's to lose, because Barty withdrew. So it's probably the most even going in since the 2021 event. I think that's probably is about, look, and by the end of the tournament, we might see that, Sabalenka or Swiatek wins, and we're like, oh, yeah, okay, or Gauff wins, right? Well, okay, maybe it wasn't a surprise, but going into it, it feels very even. Like, you could make an argument for pretty much every player. Even if Keys won it, it'd be a bit shocking considering she hasn't played, but, I mean, we know what Keys is capable of. We saw that in Australia. You just have to win a couple of group matches and then, get a good matchup in the semis and you might be able to take the title. You got to win 4 out of 5 matches, right? You don't have to win all the matches. But it just depends on Keys' fitness. And also I think Keys probably needs to get certain players in her group. Like, she can't be playing, I think she probably needs to play Sabalenka, Paolini, and probably Gauff. Maybe Anisimova. Maybe her and Anisimova would be a bit of a battle of the big hitting. Like, Keys is probably the least likely to take it, but then again, but if she took it, would we be? If she's healthy, would we be surprised if she won? Probably not. She did win the Australian Open. 30-15. To the backhand now from Eala to the backhand of Piter, but Piter hits it wide, and it's 40-15. Anyone could beat anyone. Exactly. All right, 40-15. All right. As Eala wins the game, we go to a tiebreak. 6-6. Swiatek with Anisimova, Keys, and Raducanu would be epic. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. And then what? Gauff, Pegula, Sabalenka, and Paolini? That's pretty fun. All right. Chen serves first. Who's winning the tiebreak? As we're backing up from Eala into the forehand of Chen, and then forehand from Kichenok's a winner. One love Eala and Kichenok. 1-0. One all. Pegula or Paolini, who's more underrated? Pegula. I think Pegula's more underrated. I'm going to fault second serve. Serve into the forehand of Chen. Forehand from Kichenok in the net. 2-1, Chen and Piter. The reason why I think Pegula is more underrated is because Paolini, I think we're all like super impressed. Everyone's impressed by Paolini, right? One, because she's one of the shortest players on tour, but she's still beating everybody. So showing that like height doesn't necessarily matter. But also I think she's way overachieved. Like she's done she's won 2 1,000 events. She's made multiple Grand Slam finals in the last 2 years. 3 years ago, no one thought that was going to happen. Paolini wasn't even like top 20 3 years ago. She was a journeywoman, right? And now so everybody, like, I think a lot of people appreciate Paolini and a lot of people she's definitely rated for sure. Like, it's like she's so impressed. We're all impressed by her, right? But Pegula, despite doing a lot of things in her career, still gets underestimated. Doesn't get spoken about enough. She just kind of is floating around the top 5, and nobody really talks about her when we're watching big tournaments. I'm the problem too. Like when we're watching Sabalenka's fiance Gauff play, Pegula does get missed, but she's been top 5. It feels like for the most part of the last 3-4 years. The only thing she's missing is compared to the others is a slam, and if she had a slam, we'd be mentioning her a lot more. So that's why I think Pegula is more underrated. Because Paolini, everybody in the tennis world is like, praise Paolini, impressed by Paolini. Pegula doesn't get praised as much. And doesn't get as much credit for her achievements. You know what I mean? 4-2. Yeah, she's won the Billie Jean King Cup twice. Yeah, so a lot, like, Paolini's done so much. Plus, she plays a lot of doubles. She wins a lot of doubles too. So, like, Paolini is no one. Like, so many people talk about Paolini, but Pegula gets no one talks about Pegula. Going into tournaments, nobody's talking about Pegula. She always gets overlooked, which is why I think she's underrated. More underrated, because she does go under the radar a lot. 4-2. As Eala hits a return, hits a winner down the line, and it's 4-3 Chen and Piter. But it's the mini break goes to them. 4-3. As Chen serves a fault second serve. But I also think she's super low key, and that doesn't help. I mean, she doesn't like that, but it doesn't really matter about if Pegula doesn't talk about her achievements. As we get a return winner from Kichenok, and it's 4-0. She definitely and the thing, Pegula's in a tough spot, right? Because what's the thing that we hear about Pegula the most, Chad? What does everybody mention when we say Pegula? What's the first thing everybody says? What's the first thing that every person, when we don't, they don't say Grand Slam finalist, they don't say top 5 player, they don't say, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, rich. They say she's got money, right? That's the only thing that people talk about her. So, which is a shame because you can't buy your ranking. Anyways, 5-4, Eala and Kichenok. Yeah, billionaire. Yeah, that's all that people say, right? So I think that's probably partly why she doesn't. Because if she started talking to her, like if she was talking about like, hey, I'm going to win the Australian Open, all those people that just like are jealous or whatever it is about her being born into a rich family, which she had nothing to do with, it wasn't her idea. It's just not like she, chose that life. That's not how it works. You just kind of get what you're given, But as a bit of volley from Chen goes wide, 6-4. if she was like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna win Wimbledon," so many people that don't like her because they're jealous of her family, they would just tear her down. So I think that's part of the reason why she is like, she doesn't talk herself up and she doesn't celebrate her own achievements, at least in the press conferences. She doesn't celebrate, right? Plus, it's also probably just not in her personality. She just seems to be pretty chill, right? She just doesn't seem too like impressed by her own achievements, which is, humble as well, right? 6-4. So yeah, she is super low key, but I think that's because she doesn't want to get like unnecessary hate from people that are just jealous. Anyways, winner from Eala down the middle. There's the first set tiebreak. Eala and Kichenok 7-6. You know what I mean though? Like, even if she mentioned like her ambitions for next year, if she was like, "Hey, yeah, next year I want to win a slam," so many stupid people would come out and just start talking absolute rubbish, right? And be like, "Oh, I can't believe she wants to win a slam next year. That's so arrogant." And you'd be like, "Bullshit! Everybody wants to win a slam next year." Just because like that, you know what I mean? So she's kind of like, screwed either way. So if she doesn't talk herself up, then people forget that she's, one of the contenders for every tournament. But then if she talks herself up, she's going to get hate for it. So, which is so silly when she's a tennis player first. I mean, most people wouldn't have known until she started becoming top 5 who her parents were. I mean, do you know who Eala's parents are? Do you know who, do you know anyone else in the top 10's parents besides the ones that coach their kids or were sports stars somewhere else? No. Most of the time, I don't know who Swiatek's parents are. I don't know who Sabalenka's parents are. I don't know who Palini's parents are. Like, because they're not in the public eye. They're not. They don't own sports teams. They don't, have a presence. They're, you know what I mean? So it's always weird. The Pegula thing's always weird, but yeah, she's definitely underrated. But Pegula's the most underrated player. Watching her on the Players Pod makes me love her even more, just humble and so chill. Yeah, for sure. I've only watched like 2 episodes of that. But yeah, it seems super chill. Did Palini meet Eala before? Because Pegula beat Eala 3 times before. No, they haven't played yet. I don't think. Pegula has like 4 1,000 titles. Yeah. I think she's she's got 2. She won Canada twice, right? I don't think she's got any more than that. I think she's got 2, but she's made a lot of finals. She's made like Cincinnati final. She made the final this year in Wuhan. Yeah, she was the quarterfinal queen for a while. She made the final of the WTA final. I mean, Pegula's career, she's been stopped by Sabalenka, Swiatek, and Coco. But, she won Madrid as well, right? Did she win Madrid? No, that was Ons. Hang on. Oh, she won Guadalajara. Yeah, okay, so she won 3. Guadalajara, but she made the final of Madrid, final of Miami, final of Wuhan, final of Cincy, semifinals. I mean, her best tournament is Canada by a mile. Miami, she's done pretty good there as well. She made the final of the WTA finals, of course. Pegula's career is very solid. It's a very, very solid career. Especially as somebody who started doing well late. She went to college. She was battling injury in her early 20s. And then, mid-20s, she has that breakout at the Australian Open in 21, makes the quarterfinals. And then from there on, she's been sort of that top 10 player ever since. Even last year, start of last year, she was injured all the time, but still managed to hang in. And then she ended the year last year injured. But then this year, this year's been super solid. She's probably one of the more. I mean, there's a lot of consistent players on the WTA now, which is lovely, but she's definitely one of the most reliable players. She'll make the quarters or the semis at least of most tournaments, right? She rarely gets upset first rounds, unless there's some sort of injury. She rarely seems to lose the matches she's supposed to win. Let me have a look. How bad's her? Has she had any bad losses this year? So she lost first round Washington to Fernandez. Fernandez won the tournament. Sevastova in Montreal was a bad loss, but maybe the pressure of a three-peat was there. I don't know. Then she lost to Lynette in Cincy. She lost to Boiseau in Roland Garros, but she made the semis. She lost to Kalinskaya and Mertens on the clay. Uchima. Okay, she's had a couple of bad losses. Danilovic in Australia. She lost to Keys in Adelaide. Alexandrova, Noskova, Svitolina, Sabalenka, Alexandrova again. She keeps losing to Alexandrova. Alexandrova seems to be a problem. Sabalenka's beaten a few times. Pellini, Rybakina. Cocciaretto, Wimbledon first round. That was a bad loss. That was probably her worst loss of the year. Especially because Wimbledon, she just beaten Swiatek, and it felt like she was maybe one of the favorites for Wimbledon, right? The middle of the season between Charleston and US Open, she was very up and down. Like, she won bad on Berg, but every other tournament she kind of just there was a lot of upsets in that middle of the season. Sevastova was bad loss as well. Yeah, that was pretty. But again, I think maybe it's because it was like the three-peat was on the cards, and that's pretty difficult to do. Even though, look, how many players have won 3 tournaments in a row lately, right? Swiatek at the French. Sabalenka in Wuhan, but that was kind of like three-peat over 6 years, though, remember? Because it was... so I don't know. So I think we underestimate how difficult it is to win 3 in a row and how big of a deal that is, right? Alcaraz couldn't do it at Wimbledon. Sabalenka couldn't do it at the Australian Open. And we all thought they were going to, they won the last 2, so they must be doing 3. 3 in a row is tough. So I think, the Sevastova loss was bad, but I think the three-peat pressure was there. That we don't talk about that enough. All right, 15 lovers with a backhand out of the volley of Peter. 400 from Chen. Love 15, my bad, as that goes up by Kichenok. And then Peter hits a lob long, and it's love 30. Love 30. Love 30. I mean, even Alcaraz in Indian Wells, right? He was on a three-peat at Indian Wells. He lost to Draper. I feel like the three-peat is such a pressure. We need to. Anyone on a three-peat going into the tournament, we need to keep an eye on them because they might lose. We need to make sure they're. We gotta keep an eye on them. 15-30. As the return goes in, the forehand to Chen. Backing out from Kichenok into the forehand to Chen. To the backhand to Kichenok, who hits a passing shot winner. All right, 15-40. I'm thinking Yala cracks the top 20 next year. Yeah, I concur. If not, like, worst case, at least seeded at the slams. As that goes out by Kichenok and it's 30-40, one saved. At least seeded at slams is minimum, right? All right. $30-40, still break point. As we to serve again. And Chen double faults. All right. There's the break. 2-love. 2-0. I do hope Eala plays lesser tournaments so she can remain healthy. Yeah, I think next year her schedule will be a lot more WTA main based and not no challenges. I don't think she'll play challenges unless she feels like she has to for form. But I think next year she'll probably not play the smaller tournaments that she played this year because, like I've said the last couple of months, I think that the reason why Eala was playing so many challenges was one, to get form and confidence, but also I think they set the schedule out at the start of the year, her and her coaches, and said, we're doing this and we're playing these events and we're going to try and get to the top 100. Now, she did that in the first three months, and then I think they wanted to stick to that schedule and not just go, oh, now we're in the top 40 or top 50, or sorry, top 100. We can now ditch the schedule and we'll just play the Grand Slams. But then she loses and then she gets no points and there's no confidence. So I think next year she probably plays less challenges, but only when she needs to, right? If she loses in 1,000 and she wants to go get some form, So I think next year we won't see Eala playing so many smaller tournaments. She'll probably still play doubles though, because I think the doubles has helped her net game for sure. I mean, she's volleying a lot better in the singles than she was, post Miami. So I think she'll probably play a fair bit of doubles still, or at least play some doubles. Work on the doubles game, and that's smart, right? I think that's a good idea. A lot of players do that. Coco did that. Sabalenka did that. Swiatek did that. There's a lot of players that play that. The doubles to get ready for the singles. 30-15. As Kichenok serves into the front of Piter. Volley from Eala in the nets. 30-all. 30-all. All. As Eala serves again. So Kichenok serves again. Into the backhand of Chen. Return to the backhand of Kichenok. Kichenok in the net. 30-40. To get back on serve. 30-40. As return goes in the net by Piter, and it's deuce, but sudden death. Big point here. It could be 3-love or 2-1. This point is worth 2 games. Almost. Be a 2-game swing. You want to know what pressure points are? This is a pressure point. Deuce. Sudden death. Kichenok serving to Chen. Serving to the backhand of Chen. Volley from Eala. Chen with the backhand. Into the backhand of Kichenok. And Kichenok hits it long. There's the break back. Huge point to win by Chen and Piter. We're back on serve. 2-1. Eala just kind of pushed the volley. She could have done a bit better there, but Kichenok, terrible error, just over hitting the ball. Why would you say Pegula is super solid and most consistent player now in the field than you say Pegula is underdog and her and Paolini? I don't think you heard what I said. I didn't say Pegula was an underdog. And I didn't say she was the most consistent player in the field either. I don't know I think you're just making things up. I didn't say either of those things. I said Pegula is more underrated than Paolini. Like, I don't know where you got the rest of that from. Six King Slam was a disaster for Tsitsipas? Not really. He made $1.5 million. Like, I don't think disaster. I don't think it really, because then he's not going to play for. He didn't play for the rest of the year. That's the only tournament he's played post US Open. So, all right, 2-1. 2-1 Eala and Kichenok. He cashed the check. Yeah, look, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, Andy Roddick had such a good point when talking about like players that played that tournament for money. He was talking about the people that criticize that and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Zverev just showed up for the paycheck." Andy said something like, he said something like, people that are criticizing that, ask yourself, would you do the same? And if you wouldn't do the same, then you can criticize. But if you got offered, you know, whatever, like a whole year's paycheck to do one day of work in whatever, and if you said no to that and you wouldn't do that, then you can criticize. But if you would take that, then you're a hypocrite. You can't criticize these players because you would do the same, right? And I thought that was totally true. Especially for Tsitsipas, right? Now, you know, he's been injured pretty much all year. I think he's been having a lingering injury all year. To get paid $1.5 million to play one match, and then basically that pays for probably most of his expenses for the rest of the season and going into next year. So that relieves the pressure on having to play, you know, for the rest of the year, which means that he can recover on his injury. You know, that is not like people are thinking that Tsitsipas is just going to go out and buy a sports car. No, like that $1.5 million for somebody who's been injured, he can now take the time off because he's just been paid enough that he doesn't have to work. Because if he, okay, let me put it into a bit more perspective for you. And I know nobody's like arguing with me. You guys are just like, yeah, we get it. But okay, so if Tsitsipas had played Paris and Greece, right, to make the same amount for that one match that he played, based on last year's prize money, he would have had to win Paris, right? He would have had to win Paris, and I think he would have had to win in Greece. So win Paris, win Greece, and you get the same amount of money as you do for losing to Sinner. So that 1.5 million, especially when somebody's injured, and you know, if Tsitsipas wasn't injured and then he just took the rest of the season off and went on vacation, and you're like, oh, that's a bit weird. But because he's had an injury, like lingering injury for the entire season, for him to get 1.5 mil relieves the financial stress. Now, I don't know what his financial situation is, but it at least means that he doesn't have to play the tournaments for the rest of the year for the paycheck, you know, to go, oh shit, I need to play because otherwise blah, 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 blah. He can go rest now and he can go recover and he can get that time off the tour without having to worry about, you know, money coming in or getting paid for the, you know, for his prize money. He had that in one go, right? And now he can start the new season, hopefully, you know, fresh, right? So again, like and I know you guys are not criticizing him, and no one's really. I don't think anyone would. But if anyone is criticizing him, just think of it like, well, yeah, he gets paid 1.5 million, which gives him the opportunity to now not have to play for the rest of the season, and now he can recover for next year, and he can be healthy next year, hopefully, and you know. And I think if we think of it like that, it's a little bit more understanding, a little bit more a little bit more obvious, right? Like, okay, well, yeah. And again, like Andy said, if you're going to criticize Steph or anybody who plays that Six King Slam, be like, oh my God, they just play for the money. Ask yourself if you would do the same. And if you wouldn't do the same, go ahead and criticize. If you would do the same, you can't say nothing. Love 15. It's a backhand slice into the volley of Eala, and then Eala volley in the net. Chen and Peter are getting fired up. Love 30. But Steph isn't broke. It's not about... how do you know that? Do we know that? Do we know that Steph has unlimited money? Like, no, we don't know that. Now, is he like a number 300 in the world grinding challenges? No. But like, again... getting that one payday, now he can focus on getting healthy, right? He could have maybe done that anyway, if that's what your argument is. Like, maybe he didn't need to play that one match and he could have just like played nothing and still been okay. But okay, tennis buff. If somebody offered you, maybe not 1.5 million, like let's say somebody offered you 1 year's worth of pay for 1 day's worth of work. Would you take it? This is what Andy was saying. That anyone was like, that was criticizing the players for taking the money. Or taking the payday. As that goes over the net. If you could get paid for 1 day's worth of work, for a year's worth of pay in the 1 day, would you take it? And if you're like, no, I wouldn't take that. I'd rather work. Okay, fair play, fair enough. You can say what you want. But if you would take that, then why can't Steph take that? Now, Steph's 1.5 million is not a year's worth of money. That's like probably, it's maybe, a month's worth of prize money for him, right? Depending on how well he plays. All right. 15:40. Is it a back in the net from Eala? There's the break. All right. Chen and Peter are leading. Ask Rude or Draper. Well, that's the thing. Rude, we think, didn't play because of the moral, because of the morality of it. Respect. Draper didn't play because he withdrew because we're probably assuming that he needed to get healthy. We don't know what we don't know where his recovery is either. So, like, did Draper get surgery and then he went into recovery and he's not allowed to pick up a racket right now? Or is Draper practicing and he still chose not to play because he didn't want to get, any backlash? I don't know. Like, we don't know. Maybe Draper wasn't allowed to play. The doctor says you're not allowed to pick up a racket until the end of November. We don't know. We don't know where Draper's recovery is. But, just because Draper got offered $1.5 million doesn't mean, like, if he goes and plays with an injured shoulder or an injured arm and it makes it worse, it's probably not worth it for him. But for Steph, it was obviously worth it for him. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll get paid for that 1.5. I might not put in my best effort, and then the rest of the season's a wash, and then I'll start it fresh next year, I would take it. With his prize money career, shouldn't he be okay to take a break regardless of Saudi? I have no idea. What do you mean? Draper is injured, and he did not play it. Yeah, well, I just mentioned that. So Tsitsipas not injured. Well, Tsitsipas is injured. Otherwise, he would have played it. The fact that Tsitsipas pulled out of Greece shows that he is injured, right? Because that's his home tournament. It's in Greece for the first time. You don't think that Tsitsipas wants to play at home in front of his crowd for the first time ever? I don't remember the last time there was a tournament in Greece. Like, you don't think Tsitsipas wanted to be in Greece? That's crazy. He'll be there probably anyway, watching in the crowd as Novak plays. But you don't think the fact that he pulled out of his own tournament or his home tournament tells me that, okay, he's definitely hurt. But also playing the Six King Slam for the 1.5, again, you can't fault him if you would do the same. Which is exactly what Andy said. I'm like, that's such a good way of putting it. Because so many people just like criticize the players for doing that. And you go, well, okay, you might not like it. But is it you don't like it because you don't get that chance to do that? Like, why are people so critical of Steph being doing that? I don't think I've ever seen Cam defend Tsitsipas. I've defended Tsitsipas before. What are you talking about? 15-0. But again, it's like, what Andy said, I was like, that's really interesting. Because a lot of people were like criticizing everybody who played the Six King Slam. But then when Andy said that, I was like, yeah, true. Yeah. The people criticizing need to ask themselves, would they not do the same? As with a backhand winner from Eala, and it's 15-30. Shouldn't he be financially okay that he wouldn't risk worsening the injury to play one match and get a good paycheck? Well, that's the thing. He obviously... I mean, there's players that risk playing all the time, you know? There's players that get injured and then play one extra... I mean, Runa, right? He had a hamstring injury and then he played one more match and he ended up getting an Achilles injury. Now, is it related? I'm not a scientist. But there's players that play more... there's players that get injured mid-match and they keep playing when they probably shouldn't. So he obviously waited up going, okay... Do I go play this one match? My back could get worse, or my injury could get worse. But obviously it was worth the risk for him, right? For Draper, he's not worth the risk. He's like, no, I don't want to get re-injured for a payday. I don't want that. I need to be fresh. So again, both of those guys would have weighed up whether or not, it was worth it. And for Tsitsipas, he thought, yeah, it's worth the risk. Now, yes, he could have gotten worse. It could have made his injury worse. And it could have been, God forbid, he could have been out for 6 months. And Draper could have played and he could have been fine and come back next year anyway. But again, that's what these players had to weigh up. Or those two guys had to weigh up in particular. 4-2, by the way, Chen and Peter. Pagula was saying in a podcast there was players fighting between each other to get Draper's spot at the 16 Slam. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I totally get that. There's $1.5 million on the table. Everybody would have tried to get that. There's a lot of... I mean, that's... Like I said, that's like winning... That is as much... For one... Not even a win. A loss. For one loss, you get paid more than you would for winning a 1,000 title. Going and losing one match and you get paid the same as winning one of the hardest trophies in the world. Of course, so many players would be pushing each other out the way to try and get that opportunity. Love 15. As a return goes in the backhand of Kichenok. Backhand out from Peter. Goes in the net. And it's 15-all. But anyways. I just thought it was interesting when Andy said that. But now that Tsitsipas pulled out the rest of the season, it's like, well, good. Okay, now we can recover for next year. And if there was any part of him that was worried about, I have to play because I need the prize money. Again, we don't know Tsitsipas' financial situation, but just assuming that he might felt the pressure of like, well, if I don't play Paris and don't play Greece, I'm leaving money on the table. And then the Six King Slam covered that. Now he can go relax and get ready for next year and get healthy, because that's probably part of why players play injured. Is they feel the financial pressures. Now, maybe not the top 20 or maybe not the top 10, but the players outside the top 10, top 50 for sure, they feel like, well, shit, I have to play challenges every week. I have to play this. Because if I don't play this week, then I can't pay my coach, which means I don't have a coach, which means I don't get better, and then I can't travel next week. Obviously, again, I don't know Tsitsipas' financial situation, but again, there's a lot of players that clearly, they don't have the luxury of being able to relax. Now that Tsitsipas got that payday, he can take the rest of the year off and he can get healthy for next year. Now, if he rocks up to the Australian Open injured, then we maybe question, well, what the hell were you doing? Or maybe it was worse than we thought. Maybe the injury was worse than we thought. Maybe he needed, more treatment, whatever. But if now that he's got 3 months off, he should be able to come into next season 100%. There should be no excuse for Tsitsipas going into Melbourne unless he hurts it in practice or unless it's worse than it maybe we thought, All right, nice volley there from Chen. All right, deuce. Says get the break here. I checked and Tsitsipas has made $1.3 million before 16 Slam this year. Before the 16 Slam. Yeah, so he doubled his income like that. So half of the prize money he's made this year was one loss. I mean, of course, so many players would have decided to do that. As Eala hits it in the net, and we get 5-2. Double break. Chen and Piter are going to serve to take us to a tie-break third set, 10-point shootout. I'll remind you about Tsitsipas when the Australian Open starts. Great, I look forward to it. Thank you. That would be awesome. That'd be great. Chat, why do we always have to argue? It's annoying. What? Can't we just agree to disagree? If you think that Tsitsipas is faking injuries or whatever you think is going on, I don't even know what you're thinking. You're just saying but Cam, you're just disagreeing with me. You're not really coming up with your own point. You're just being Tsitsipas got paid, so now he's taking a luxury vacation because he's not actually hurt. And he's like, what are you is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to convince me that he's actually not injured and now that he got paid, he's just lazy? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying Tsitsipas is lazy? Are you saying Tsitsipas is, now that he's got paid $1.5 million, he can retire for the rest of the year and he can go and, travel on a yacht and that the back injury was just a fake out? What are you trying to say? Because all I'm hearing is you're just questioning what I'm saying. But what are you trying to say? Give me your opinion. What are you trying to say? I think he's more motivated by money than not about getting fit. Okay. You think that he's more motivated by money and not getting fit. So you think that if he didn't play the Six King Slam, he wouldn't have played the rest of the year, or he would have played you think the only reason he played the Six King Slam because of the money, and that is bad. Do you feel like there's an injustice in the world for that? What is it? Is it one of those so-and-so, somebody else deserved it more. They should have let Demon Or play because he deserves it. Is that what you're going down that road? Is that what you're getting at? That he's motivated by money and, that's the only reason he risked being injured. He should have not played the 16 Slam if he was really injured. So he shouldn't have played an exhibition that's not really that intense. And you think he should have given... You're basically saying... And that he should have given his spot up. Okay. Okay, so you think that somebody else should have been... Are you more mad because it was Sinner versus Tsitsipas was bad match? Or are you just upset because the injustice that Tsitsipas stole someone's payday? Is that what you're I could have gone to Demon Or and he deserves it more and Tsitsipas should have recovered from injury? And is that what you're getting at, right? 15-0. You think that Tsitsipas robbed somebody? Is that what you feel like somebody got robbed? All right, 15-0. By the way, chat, I learned that Rude was not Rude didn't want to play because he wasn't quite sure about the situation. There were better players. Well, how do you know those players weren't asked and those players were like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable playing there right now. Like Casper Ruud. Ruud a year ago was saying that he doesn't really feel comfortable playing in Saudi yet. He doesn't really understand. He doesn't really want to go there. So how do we know that certain players weren't asked and said, nah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to, yeah, okay, $1.5 million is great, but I also don't want to go there because of what's the political situation and the moral situation or the ethical situation. I mean, we don't know what the players, we don't know who got asked. We don't know if Tsitsipas was the first one to get asked and he said yes and nobody else got a call. We don't know that. Unless the players that didn't go get talked about, like, get questioned. Like, oh, hey, Ben Shelton, did you get asked? No? Okay, well, maybe they called Tsitsipas first. Someone just said they were fighting to get the spot. But we don't know who they called. Just because the players were, like, trying to get in contact with the Saudis to get a shot doesn't mean that the list that they had was, Musetti, Shelton, De Minaur, Tsitsipas. We don't know. And we don't know what their response would have been if they did get asked, because they might have different points. We don't know any of that. We're just assuming that because that's what fans do. We guess. We just guess. 5-3. Who would they ask before Steph? He is the 6th most accomplished player on tour. Well, yeah, that's what we're saying during the tournament. People are saying, why Tsitsipas? It's like, because he's made Grand Slam finals, won multiple 1000s. He's got wins over those guys the fact that he was 20 in the world was the only thing that made it look strange. But not that long ago, Tsitsipas was top 5. Not that long ago, Tsitsipas was Grand Slam finals, right? But it looks strange because he wasn't in the top 10. But it doesn't mean that he's not. His resume matched Fritz and maybe even Zverev, right? I mean, his resume is still very. I mean, it definitely matches Fritz's resume, if not better. Just his ranking was lower than Fritz. 30 love. Anyways, let's move on because I'm getting bored. I'm sick of talking about money is just gross. I don't know why. I just feel icky. 30 love. Is it a backhand out of the volley of Peter? Chen comes to net with a volley. And the backhand from Kichenok's good. Chen with a volley. Another volley from Chen is a drop volley winner. Nice. 30-15. As Eala serves again. Still down a break, though, in this second set. As we return out of the volley of Chen, Eala puts up a lob. Chen with a smash. It's too good. God, Chen is such a good player to watch. Like, she has just got, like, the nicest, cleanest game. It's such a Barty style. It's so much like Ash Barty. I love it. It's like just such an effortless game. Serving to the back end of Chen. Chen hits a return winner. All right. Set point, 30-40. 30-40. As we just serve out wide the backhand of Peter, but Peter puts it wide. Eala saves one, but it's still sudden death. How far can Chen go? I wonder what's her ceiling. Yeah, I don't think we've seen enough of her yet. Like, we haven't seen her play the top players. We haven't seen her enough. It's hard to judge. She's just getting started. So, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Chen going into next year because I hope we get to see her play more because she's really fun to watch. As it a point from Chen, Eala slices it, goes wide, and we're going to a 10-point tiebreak. All right. Chen and Peter win the second. All right. Chen and Peter win the second. And we are going to a 10-point tiebreak to decide this semifinal. All right. I don't like the subject. Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe I'm just old school, but like discussing like people's money just makes me feel gross. Ugh. I feel like I'm being nosy, and I don't give a shit. It's one thing to talk about like what's the prize money for the tournament. It's like, oh, the winner gets this much, but even that I don't care. prize money for me in tennis, I don't give a shit. It only matters for me when it's like, Vasharoy winning, like, doubling his life earnings, and you're like, that matters a lot. Other than that, I don't give a shit. I don't care who's won the most money this year. I care who's number one in the world. I care who's won the most titles, Quarter playing qualifications today. Really? That's interesting. That's how stacked Paris is. No third set. It's a 10-point tiebreak. All right. 10-point tiebreak to decide the finalist. Six, 3. Is the second set score. As Chen serves first. A fault. Second serve. Who's winning the tiebreak, chat? Serving to the forehand of Eala. Good return to the forehand of Chen. But no, it was a double fault from Chen. All right, 1-love Eala Kichenok. Now it's first to 10. First to 10. 11-9 Eala and Kichenok, you reckon? Okay. 1-love Eala and Kichenok. Hey, Ton, thank you for the 50 pesos. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super sticker. 1-love Eala and Kichenok. As the return goes into the back end of Kichenok. Kichenok in the net, 1-1. All right, Piter and Chen get the mini break back. 1-1. Serve again. From Kichenok is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Chen, and then Kichenok in the net. 2-1, Chen and Piter. 2-1. Fonseca should beat Munar. I hope so. But I'm also not... I'm also... won't be surprised if he lost, because Munar is super dangerous. The fact that Munar is the underdog is kind of scary for me. I'm a little scared. All right, 4-1, Chen and Piter. And she is there. Yeah, I don't know if it's Piter or I think it's Peter's the one who's the most vocal. Chen doesn't seem like the shouty type. I think Peter's the one who's very, very vocal after every point. Yeah, there's a 10-point tiebreak final. Stupid tiebreak. Super stupid tiebreak. 4-1. As Eala serves. Only 1 mini break. Chad, what am I going to have for dinner? I don't even know. 4-1. Chad, give me some flavors. As Eala serves the fault, second serve. Serving to the forehand of for Piter. Up goes a lob by Piter. Eala with the forehand. Again to the back of Piter. Into the forehand of Eala. Piter with a forehand on the stretch. Eala gets it with a forehand down the line for a winner. Too good Eala. 4-2. They change ends. What's Hubie doing? He's getting fit for next year. Pizza? No, I feel like pizza's a little too heavy today. Nachos. Ooh, nachos sounds good, to be honest. That sounds pretty good. 4-2. Ramen? Yeah, ramen sounds alright. 4-2. Eala's still serving. And we've got a fault second serve. And a serve. Into the forehand of Chen. Backing up from Eala to the forehand of Chen. Is Eala backhand again? The forehand of Chen. And Chen hits a winner down the line. 5-2. Chen and Piter. It seems like a lot of the media are confirming that Chapo retired because he was unhappy. I mean, now that's it's such a cruel joke now that he has to play Fonseca again. Like, the French is, if that's the case, and now they've made him play again, that's kind of wild. Did Chapo do it? Chapo didn't do a press conference, obviously. Otherwise, we would have heard. 6-2. Chen and Piter. As a return from Eala goes in the forehand of Chen. Backing out from Eala. Into the forehand of Chen. There's Eala forehand lob. Chen with the backhand volley. Eala forehand down the middle. And the volley is good by Kichenok. But then Piter puts away the second volley. And it's 7-2 to Piter and Chen. I mean, that's a shame if Chapo did retire because he was just not happy with the situation. I hope that's not true. I hope it was he pulled out, he withdrew because he had something wrong, and but not getting a medical timeout's very strange. Like that, whenever someone does that, I mean, there's a lot of players that do that. Doesn't mean they're not injured. It just means that they just didn't get a medical timeout, which is weird when you've got it available. But I hope not. Anyways, Piter with a tweener goes in the net, 7-3. But now Chapo's going to play Fonseca again anyway, so yeah, that's cruel. That's just cruel if that's the reason. If Chapo did pull out retire because he wasn't happy, and then he has to play the same guy again anyway, well, that's just cruel. 10-point tiebreak. Yep, 7-3. But I hope Chapo didn't do that. I hope Chapo was worried about something that he was worried about an injury or something. He did shake his legs out a little bit in the third set though. So again, he did seem like his legs were a little sore. As that goes to the net by Kichenok and 8-3. Like he did seem like his legs towards the third. He didn't look as physically good. So I'm going to go with that. Until further notice. All right, 8-3, Piter and Chen. Piter serving for the match to make the final of the doubles. Serve is a fault. No, it's an ace. But Eala and Kichenok are complaining because there's no Hawkeye. Eala and Kichenok are pissed. They're like, that was a fault. And the umpire's like, yep, well, I can't do anything about it. All right, they change ends. 9-3. Look, I can understand that they'd be pissed off at 8-3 down, but cool, was that a fault? There's no Hawkeye, so there's no overturning the result. And Eala's not happy. They're both pissed. All right, 9-3. They change ends. And Peter's going to serve to try and win this match. 6 match points. Eala could have opted to play Chennai next week. Yeah, but she's playing in Hong Kong, so she can't play in Chennai if she's playing in Hong Kong. All right, 9-3. Match point. As we get a fault from Peter. Second serve. Second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Peter. Backing up from Eala. Into the forehand of Peter. Peter hits it wide. One saved. 9-4. Yeah, so Eala's playing Bolter next week. Winner plays either Gibson or Mboko second round in Hong Kong. So that's actually pretty interesting. I mean, Hong Kong's pretty stacked. We knew that going in. You got Bencic, Fernandez, Kennan, Kalinskaya, Mboko, Eala. Eala Bolter's an interesting match. That's a good opportunity for very good opportunity for Eala because Bolter's not playing well. Backhand in the net from Peter, and it's 9-5. Eala serving again. Because it had Raducanu, Osaka, Kazatkina, and Townsend, but they all pulled out. Yeah. All right, still match point. As a return goes in from Chen to the back of Eala. Chen with the forehand down the line. That's too good. All right, Chen and Peter are into the final. They outlast the Eala Kichenok team. And they are into the final. There you go, GG's. Good fight, though, from Eala. She's, doubles is not her thing. She's new to doubles, so it's all about getting experience to try and improve the net game and the transition to the net and all that stuff. So, good result, despite losing. And then Eala can play next week in the final week of the year, final tournament of the year in Hong Kong. I don't know if she's playing doubles next week, but she's playing in the singles. Like I said, we're going to play Bolter. So we'll be watching that next week. What's the time zones in Hong Kong? I'm sure it's 3 hours behind my time, right? Yeah. She's playing Hong Kong. Chennai draw looks easier, though. Yeah, but she probably already entered Hong Kong before the Chennai entry list was... 6 weeks before the entry list closed, she probably went, I'm going to go play Hong Kong, not knowing who was playing Chennai. So, plus, she probably want to play Hong Kong because it's closer to Philippines anyway. Instead of going to India and then flying, back, she probably wanted to go to Hong Kong because it's closer to home. There you go. There it is. Now, I'm getting out of here, but we'll be back to watch Sinner versus Demonor in about 5.5 hours. Sorry, 5 hours? No, it's 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. Why is the score like that? Because it's doubles. But I'll send you over to here, and you can chill while by the time we get back, it'll be all good. But Eala, her doubles run comes to an end in a close 3 setup, and Chen's in the final with Peter. They have an opportunity to win the title too because they're playing another unseeded team in the final. But we'll be back to watch Vienna in a couple of hours. I'll see you then.